President William Ruto's address to Africans about transitioning away from the US dollar as the world reserve currency and embracing the Indian rupee as a viable alternative holds substantial implications and significance for the continent. His statements are crucial in reshaping Africa's economic trajectory and fostering a sense of independence and unity among African nations.
Then that is going to be a new chapter in India-Kenya relations.
Tell me about your conversations and meeting with Prime Minister Modi. What is your equation with him?
We had a wonderful conversation with Prime Minister Modi. I have a lot of admiration for Prime Minister Modi, the way he has managed to pick up India and the way he is focused on matters that affect common people, and the way he believes, like me, in bottom-up, trying to do what benefits the majority of citizens. And India has made huge strides in making sure that they can deliver government service efficiently, cost-effectively, and also eliminating bureaucracy and pilferage and corruption. That is precisely what I want to do in Kenya. When I consulted many professionals, they told me the place with the best tested system is India. And so we are using the Indian experience in our digitization of government service, in our unique personal identifier, the same way you have it here in India. I had a wonderful experience with Prime Minister Modi. And as I told you, he is a great inspiration on what he does.
Here is a point to note. President Ruto's interview with Paki Sharma is majorly about highlighting the significance and implications of their conversation regarding the shift away from the US dollar, the role of the Indian rupee, African unity, and economic independence. This is the order in which the president spoke. 1. Economic paradigm shift and global implications. President Ruto's interview with Paki Sharma represents a seismic shift in economic thinking, not just for Africa but for the global economic landscape. Here are the key areas of importance. US dollar transition. Ruto's proposition to move away from the US dollar as the world reserve currency signifies a challenge to the existing economic order dominated by Western powers. This shift can have cascading effects, prompting other regions and countries to reconsider their reliance on a singular reserve currency. Rise of the Indian rupee. His advocacy for the Indian rupee as a viable alternative reflects a strategic move towards diversification. It's not just about embracing a different currency, it's about forging stronger economic ties with India and other emerging economies. This not only benefits Africa but also elevates India's standing in global economic affairs. Global economic balance. The move away from the US dollar could potentially rebalance global economic power, fostering a multipolar world where various currencies play pivotal roles in international trade. This shift might encourage dialogue among nations to explore diverse currencies, leading to more stability and reduced vulnerability to economic shocks. 2. African economic empowerment and self-determination. President Ruto's emphasis on Africans writing their own story in their unique way has far-reaching implications. Again, here are the key areas of importance. Economic independence. His call resonates with the desire for economic independence and self-reliance. It's an invitation for African nations to craft economic policies aligned with their cultural, social, and economic aspirations. This approach fosters confidence and a sense of ownership over their economic destiny. Regional integration and trade blocs. Ruto's push for Africans to unify highlights the potential for stronger regional ties and the formation of powerful trade blocs within Africa. This could spur intra-African trade, increase economic efficiency, and collectively negotiate better terms in the global economic arena. Resource mobilization and collaboration. The interview underscores the need for Africans, both on the continent and in the diaspora, to collaborate and pool resources. This collaboration can lead to the sharing of knowledge, technology, and investment, bolstering Africa's economic potential and competitiveness on the global stage. 3. Socio-political ramifications and cultural identity. Ruto's conversation with Paki Sharma delves into the socio-political implications. Pay attention to the following. Cultural sovereignty. His call for Africans to tell their story in their own way emphasizes the importance of preserving cultural identity amidst economic transformations. It's an assertion that economic progress should not come at the cost of cultural heritage but should complement and strengthen it. Empowerment of African youth.
Not very far away, devoid of the hegemony of the US dollar.
I think what we must not bring an us versus them, these versus the other. We have no problem with the US dollar, but we want currency neutral trade. You know, we want to diversify currency. For example, for us in Africa, we are working with the Afri-Exim Bank to have a pan-African payment and settlement system where trade in Africa will be in local currency, you know, but the settlement can be done at a higher level by a centralized system. Afri-Exim is providing a facility because we lose about $5 billion every year in Africa just in exchange rates between this currency and this currency and the dollar, this currency and the other one. So we are saying we want trade, we want commerce, we want transactions to be currency neutral. For us, we want to trade in our local currencies. And in fact, the conversation I was having yesterday with Prime Minister Modi is that even the facility that will be extended to Kenya, the $250 million facility, we want it in Indian rupees so that we can, why should we go and look for dollars when we can have the facility in Indian rupees? We have a lot of trade, you know, we have commodities we buy in Indian rupees. Why should we change Kenya shilling to US dollar, from US dollar to Indian rupees? Why don't we just agree that we can do trade between Kenya in shillings and in rupees? So this is what the conversation we are having.
You recently also said that the world is now looking at Africa as an opportunity and not as a source of problems. And we see the growing interest. You know, there are European players like France, there's the US, there's China, there's Russia. Do you also then see a new scramble for Africa sort of taking shape?
Scramble would be the wrong word. Maybe, maybe a new focus. You know, what we are saying as African leaders is, and I will tell you what I have said often, that there is an African proverb that says, until the lion learned to write his own story, all stories glorified the hunter because he was the one writing. So this time round, we're going to write our own story. For a long time, people wrote stories about Africa. And they said Africa is a place of disease, poverty, conflict, problems. We're telling them Africa is much more than that.
We have millions of viewers in Kenya, and it is going to them, and I cannot...
Ruto's vision could galvanize African youth, providing them with a renewed sense of purpose and agency in shaping their continent's future. It encourages them to participate actively in economic and political spheres, ensuring a more inclusive and dynamic future for Africa. Global perception shift. This interview can potentially change the global perception of Africa. It showcases Africa as a continent with a vision, agency, and the capability to shape its destiny, challenging stereotypes and outdated narratives. President Ruto's interview with Paki Sharma transcends a mere discussion on currency. It's a dialogue about reshaping Africa's place in the global economic and cultural order. It marks a pivotal moment where African nations and their people assert their agency, vision, and unity to create a future where they are the architects of their destiny.